A bad contract is like a bad reliever. Most teams have one, but is yours detrimental enough to hinder your team's progress? The contracts that I'm going to be talking about today, in hindsight, these teams are mad as fuck that they signed these players to these deals. So parameters for this video. I'm not talking about the full length of the contract. I'm talking about what's left on the contract and all of the context that comes with that. With all of that said, don't be surprised in the up and coming years if some of these players are either salary dumped or attached with prospects in order for these teams to get out of the contract and save any money that they can. There are a few players on this list that I do think they can change their circumstances, but at this point they have an uphill battle to climb, whether that's because of injuries or having repeated years of not succeeding. They have their organization and fans questioning if they have anything left in the tank. I have 12 players that I have deemed the worst contracts entering the 2024 MLB season. If you do enjoy the content analysis that I give with Paint the Black Baseball, maybe you can give me a like and subscribe, but let's get into these bad contracts. So coming in at 12th place, we have Jacob deGrom, who still has 4 years, $155 million left on his contract that he signed with the Texas Rangers. He signed the full 5-year, $185 million contract on December 2nd, 2022. If you didn't know, Jacob deGrom had Tommy John surgery this year, and he's not expected to return until August 2024. So the reason for him being on this list is injuries. And if we take a look at his contract details, he's potentially signed until 2028 or 2029, that's age 40 and 41 season. He is currently entering his age 36 season. While when he was able to pitch in 2023, the 30.1 innings he gave him, it was 1.5 WAR worthy. He was really good. But with Jacob deGrom, you always have to worry about the injury. They're essentially going to be getting 30 innings, maybe max 60 to 70 innings in 2 years. That is not a good return on investment. And the reason why I have him lower on this list and not higher, I do think when Jacob deGrom returns, he will provide value for the Rangers. And I do also factor that the Rangers just won the World Series, so they're definitely not losing sleep over this contract. You're not worried about that when you won the World Series, but you do also have to figure that this man has 4 years, $155 million left on his deal. One of these years, he's essentially gone for the full year. He's going to be age 37 through 40 for the rest of it. Are you going to get the return on investment on this contract? I don't think so, but also the Rangers are on a cloud nine because they just won the World Series. I don't see them getting rid of Jacob deGrom. It's just a contract that's going to be on their books for the foreseeable future, and whatever they get, they're happy. Now coming in at 11th place, we have Masataka Yoshida. Masataka Yoshida has 4 years, $72 million left on his contract. He signed his 5-year, $90 million contract with the Boston Red Sox on December 7th, 2022. He also had a posting fee of $15.375 million. Yoshi is currently entering his age 30 season, and he is under control with the Red Sox until 2028, his age 34 season. Now the reason for Yoshi being on this list, the Boston Red Sox have been playing him at left field, and you know, with the Green Monster, not everyone adjusts well. And if we take a look at his stats currently, he only provided 0.6 WAR last year because of how bad his defense and base running was. Now Yoshi is definitely someone I think can turn it around, but the Red Sox need to figure out quickly in 2024. If this guy can't be a left fielder, are you going to transition him to DH? Are you going to be okay with him providing such negative value defensively in left field? Because I don't think the Red Sox wanted to pay $105 million total for someone that's not even providing 1 WAR value. Yoshi did have a WRC plus of 109, and he had 15 home runs, but also if he is a DH, he may want more home runs from that as well. So Yoshi, to me, still has little things to prove. I still think he could be a productive player, but if he's only going to continue to be providing less than 1 WAR value, the Red Sox are definitely going to be regretting this deal. To me, he's a definition of wait and see, because there's still a lot up in the air when it comes to Yoshi. So coming in at 10th place, we have Byron Buxton, who has 5 years, $75 million left on his contract. He signed a 7-year, $100 million contract with the Minnesota Twins on November 28, 2021. He is currently entering his age 30 season. He is signed with the Twins until 2029, when he'll be age 35. So the reason why Byron Buxton is making this list for me, Byron Buxton has always had injury issues, but his most valuable asset has always been his defense. But last year, the Twins, in order to preserve Byron Buxton, they made him a primary DH. so he couldn't provide the value that he wanted to defensively. And if we take a look at his stats from 2023, he had a 98 WRC plus. That means he hit below league average. He had a 207 average, a 294 on base. So if you're going to be a DH, you got to be able to provide more offensively. So right now, the Twins currently have Byron Buxton as a designated hitter. He isn't hitting well enough to be a designated hitter. So we're going to see in 2024, are the Twins going to keep him at this position? Are they going to move him to the outfield so he can provide more value defensively? What are they going to do with Byron Buxton? Because what they are currently doing is not working, and they are not getting the most return on investment from this contract extension. So 2024 will be very telling for Byron Buxton. So coming in at 9th place, we have Andrew Benintendi, who still has 4 years, $64 million left on his contract. He signed a 5-year, $75 million contract with the Chicago White Sox on December 16th, 2022. He is currently entering his age 29 season, and he is signed with the White Sox through 2028, where he'll be entering the offseason at age 33. Now, the reason for Andrew being on this list, in 2023, he had a full season with the White Sox where he played in 151 games, and he provided 0.0 WAR value. He didn't bring it offensively. He didn't bring it defensively. He did not bring much power. He only had 5 home runs in total, and with a WRC plus of 87, he is not bringing it currently. Now, Andrew is young enough to where he can potentially turn it around, but after having a season like that, the White Sox definitely are questioning themselves. Why did we sign this guy to this deal? And he's not even providing us any value currently. 2024 is going to be a very telling year for Andrew. If he continues to do this, I do wonder if the White Sox are going to try and find any way to get him off their books, because their owner already isn't the most luxurious when it comes to spending. So if he's spending and not getting anything from it, he's going to find a way to get that contract off his books. So we will see this year of Andrew Benintendi, but he does have an uphill battle to climb. Coming in at 8th place, we have Jake Croner, who signed a 7-year, $80 million contract with the San Diego Padres on April 1st, 2023. Seeing as this contract was signed in 2023, it is just now taking into effect this season. And in 2024, Jake Croner is entering age 30. He won't be a free agent until 2031 at age 37. And I don't know if you guys have seen trade rumors, but the San Diego Padres have been linked to wanting to move Jake Croner if the deal is there. So the fact that this contract hasn't even gone into effect and the team is looking to move him, there's a reason why he's on this list. Because last season he did not do what was needed to be done. He only accumulated a 1.0 WAR. He had a WRC plus of 92. He didn't even bring value defensively. And part of the reason this deal isn't going to be worth it for the Padres is because of their short-sighted thinking. So if you didn't know, they signed Xander Bogaerts, who is a shortstop. They already had Manny Machado at third base. And then they have Kim at second base, which is Jake Cronenworth's natural position. So this past season, they moved him to first base, and they were hoping this lineup was going to be good enough. But Jake Cronenworth doesn't hit well enough to be a first baseman. His value was being a good hitting second baseman. So as of now, they don't have a position for him to play second baseman because Kim is there. And if he's at first base, he is not going to accumulate the value needed to be worth of this contract. So I don't know if the Padres are going to move him. Are they going to move Kim? I don't think these two together in the same infield is going to work, knowing that they have Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts as well. So this contract could turn to not a bad one if Jake Cronenworth moves back to second base. But if he's going to be playing first base for the duration of this deal, this contract is going to be a disaster for the Padres. So coming in at 7th place, we have Trevor Story. He still has 4 years, $95 million left on his contract. He signed a 6-year, $140 million contract with the Boston Red Sox on March 20th, 2022. In 2024, he's entering his age 31 season. He is potentially signed with the Red Sox until 2028 or 2029. He'll be either age 35 or 36 then. And the reason for Trevor Story being on this list, not only has he had injury issues, when he has been healthy enough to play, he has not produced at all. With a 48 WRC plus, that is just horrible. He had a 203 batting average, and the only reason he didn't provide negative value because he was a plus on defense. But if Trevor Story is only going to be able to provide defensive value, this contract is a disaster for the Red Sox. And with 4 years, $95 million still on the hook, the Red Sox really wish they would have just given this money to Xander Bogaerts and not given it to Trevor Story. Because even from the beginning, you signed a player from Coors, and even in his last year in Coors, he didn't hit like a Coors player. So you should have seen the writing on the wall with this contract, but they didn't, and now they are living to regret this decision to this day. And in 6th place, we have Javier Baez, who still has 4 years, $98 million left on his contract. He signed a 6-year, $140 million contract with the Detroit Tigers on November 30th, 2021. In 2024, he is entering his age 31 season, and he is signed with the Tigers until 2028, his age 35 season. Now, the reason why I have Javier Baez higher on the list than Trevor Story, this man hasn't had injury issues like Trevor has, and he still only provided a .8 WAR season in 2023. He had a WRC plus of 61. He had an on-base percentage of .267. That is just beyond horrible. His only value was provided on the defensive end, and for Javier Baez to only have 9 home runs, you could tell that his bat is broken. I don't know if Javier Baez's bat's going to be fixed, because he always was an undisciplined hitter, and undisciplined hitters, as they age and lose a little bit of their bat speed, it only gets worse. So I do think this contract is going to just continue to be a disaster for the Tigers. I don't see Javier Baez turning things around. If he does, I will make a video and eat crow. But yeah, Javier Baez is going to be on the worst contract list for the foreseeable future. Coming in at 5th place, we have Carlos Rodon, who still has 5 years, $135 million left on his contract. He signed a 6-year, $162 million contract with the New York Yankees on December 5th, 2022. This also includes a full no trade clause. And in 2024, Carlos Rodon is entering his age 31 season. He won't be a free agent until 2029. That's his age 36 season. And as you know, Carlos Rodon just signed this deal with the Yankees. But not only did he have injury issues, but when he pitched and in the 14 starts that he had, he was beyond horrible. He had a 6.85 ERA, a 5.79 FIP. His strikeout rate went down, his walk rate went up, his home run rate went up exponentially. This guy was a disaster for the Yankees. Now, he was someone, like I said earlier, he has the potential to turn this around, but if he repeats this season again, this is easily the worst pitching contract in baseball at the moment. 5 years, $135 million left, and in the first season, he provided a negative WAR value. Carlos Rodon cannot do this again for the Yankees. As I said, there's still 5 years, $135 million left. So hopefully for the Yankees, Carlos Rodon figures it out, because if not, this contract is going to be an albatross for the Yankees. So coming in at 4th place, we have Anthony Rendon, who still has 3 years, $114 million left on his contract. He signed a 7-year, $245 million contract with the Los Angeles Angels on December 11, 2019. In 2024, he's entering his age 34 season. He won't be a free agent until 2027. That's when he'll be age 37. And he also has a full no trade clause. We all know about Anthony Rendon at this point. He gave them a really good shortened season in 2020, but ever since then, he's been often injured, and when he hasn't been injured, he lost his power. He still knows how to draw walks very well. Anthony Rendon has always been good at that, but with him losing his power, not being able to stay healthy, and now he's a bad defender, this is just a contract that the Angels will have to accept the L on at this point. I doubt at this point Anthony Rendon's going to figure things out and still be a productive hitter. Whatever they get from Anthony Rendon at this point is more than they expected. I do feel in the last year of this deal, they're just going to cut ties with him and let him be on his way, because this contract has been a disaster for the Angels. Coming in at 3rd place, we have Giancarlo Stanton, who still has 4 years, $128 million left on his contract. 10 of the $128 million would be for the buyout, which we all know if Stanton's on this list, the Yankees are definitely going to do this buyout. But he signed a 13-year, $325 million contract with the Miami Marlins on November 17, 2014. He was then traded to the Yankees entering the 2018 season. He gave them some good years, but now in 2024, he's entering his age 34 season. He's not going to be a free agent until either 2028 at age 38 or 2029 at age 39. But as of this moment, there's no way the Yankees are going to pick up his option. option. And the reason for them doing that, in his previous season with the Yankees in 101 games, he hit below 200. He had an on base of 275. WRC plus is 89. That's 11 points below league average. He is someone that can only be a DH at this point because him in the outfield brings no value, and currently as a hitter he's bringing no value. It's gotten so bad that Brian Cashman badmouthed Stanton entering this offseason, saying they know he's not going to be healthy for the full season. That's just how bad it is with Stanton and the Yankees. I do see this one with the Yankees eating some of this contract and maybe attaching a prospect to dump Stanton because the relationship has gotten so bad that the Yankees don't want him around there. He doesn't want to be around there. This is the definition of an unhappy home with the Yankees and Stanton. So this is one we're going to see play out, but I doubt Stanton's going to be able to regain himself at this point. He's had too many injuries to go back to being the Stanton that we all knew and would be able to hit 50 home runs in a season. Coming in at number 2, we have Kris Bryant, who still has 5 years, $131 million left on his contract. He signed a 7-year, $182 million contract with the Colorado Rockies on March 18th, 2022. In 2024, he will be entering his age 32 season. He is signed with the Colorado Rockies until 2029. He'll be entering his age 37 season, and he also has a full no trade clause as well. And the reason for Kris Bryant being on this list, not only has he had injury issues since being a Colorado Rocky, in the past season that he just played, he provided a negative 1.2 WAR. He didn't bring it offensively, he didn't bring it defensively. He had a WRC plus of 73. He also was a bad base runner. Kris Bryant currently is bringing no value to the table for the Colorado Rockies. Now, is Kris Bryant young enough that he may still be able to turn his career around? Yes, but given the fact of his last 2 seasons in Colorado, do I think that's going to happen? No way in hell do I currently think that. For the Colorado Rockies to still be on the hook for 5 years, $131 million, and this was a team that didn't want to continue to pay Nolan Arenado, that they ate part of his contract and traded him to the Cardinals and lost that deal as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kris Bryant attached with some top prospects and traded for in the foreseeable future, but this contract has been a disaster from the jump. No one even understood why the Rockies signed Kris Bryant to this deal when it happened, and while people thought it was going to be bad, no one thought it was going to be this bad. This is the move that can hold a franchise back for years to come, and especially with an owner that doesn't commit to spending like the Colorado Rockies owner is, this contract is a hindrance for them. Now, the number 1 current worst contract in baseball for me is Steven Strasberg, who still has 3 years, $105 million left on his contract. And he signed a 7-year, $245 million contract with the Washington Nationals on December 9th, 2019. And the reason for Steven Strasberg being number 1 on this list, while there may be some other contracts that are currently longer, the thing is with those players, they have the capabilities to be able to turn that contract around if they learn how to hit or pitch again. The thing is with Steven Strasberg, his injuries have gotten so bad that no one thinks he's going to be able to pitch again. So that means Steven Strasberg, who in 2024 is entering his age 35 season and won't be a free agent until 2027 at age 38. Since signing this contract, Steven Strasberg has only given the Washington Nationals around a total of 30 innings pitched. They signed him for 7 years, $245 million. If he only gives them 30 innings pitched out of all of those years, that's going to go down as one of the worst contracts in baseball history. And while you always want a player to be healthy and not have injuries derail his career, that always was a worry with Steven Strasberg, but you also don't blame the Nats for giving him that contract because they just came off winning the World Series. He was their homegrown talent, and you pay your homegrown talent when they deliver for you, and he delivered for them in the postseason and got them their World Series ring. But now them having that loyalty to Steven Strasberg, they've had a damning 7-year, $245 million contract on their books that they didn't get a return on investment for. Now, if Steven Strasberg is able to pitch again, maybe he wouldn't be number 1 on this list, but as of now, it's not looking like he's going to pitch again, so he belongs as the worst contract in baseball. So that was my list of the 12 current worst contracts in baseball. There probably are some players you are wondering, why didn't you put some of these 10-year or 11-year contracts on this list? It's because those contracts are so early in the books, and those players are still providing good to elite production. I didn't want to include them. I wanted to include players that are either currently facing injury issues or when they were healthy, they didn't deliver. So these teams are wary of whether they're going to be able to have a player playing full-time, or if they are playing, is he even going to be able to be replacement level good? Those are the players that I deem most detrimental to their team, because not only are they costing them a lot, but when they do play, they aren't helping the team. Now y'all let me know in the comment section, was there a player that you think I forgot? Do you think my ordering of this ranking was right? Is there anyone you thought that was too high? Was there anyone you thought was too low? Who was a player that you think that should have made this list? Let me know in the comment section. But as you know, if Paint the Black Baseball, I'm going to give you consistent analysis. That's why make sure to subscribe, turn the notification bell for all my videos so you can like and participate in the comment section. I hope you have a great day.